with the Club World Cup starting in a few days' time, I'm going to go through each of the groups and the knockout stages and basically just predict the Club World Cup. So Group A, I've gone with Porto to win the group, Inter Miami second, Palmeiras third and Al Ahly in fourth. Now, I think Inter Miami could win the group, but I also think Palmeiras have a slight chance of getting in to the knockout stage in the top two. I think Porto comfortably win the group. They've got some very good players. But yeah, I'm going to go with Porto, Inter Miami, Palmeiras and Al Ahly in Group A. Group B, I've gone with Paris Saint-Germain, the current champions of Europe, Atletico Madrid, Botafogo and Seattle Sounders in fourth. Again, I think PSG and Atletico are going to be too strong in this group for Botafogo or Seattle Sounders to get through. I think Botafogo will finish in third ahead of Seattle Sounders. I think they've got a better team overall, and that's how I think Group B will go. Paris Saint-Germain, Atletico, Botafogo and Seattle. I think PSG and Atletico could be very good contenders to go far in this tournament. Group C then, I've gone with Bayern Munich, Benfica, Boca Juniors and Auckland City. I think this is a tough one to call. I think Boca Juniors could be a potentially dark horse in this competition and maybe, get in second ahead of Benfica. Obviously, Benfica got Bruno Lage. A lot of their fans actually don't rate Bruno Lage as their manager, and I could see Boca Juniors sneaking through the group, which would be an absolutely unbelievable thing from them. They've got some very good players, Cavani, Romero, I think Marcos Rojo is still there. I think they've just signed Ander Herrera. So they've got some good players. Obviously, Bayern Munich have just signed Jonathan Tah on a free for this competition. They've got, obviously, Harry Kane, Elise, Kimmich, some very good players as it is. But I think that's how Group C will finish. Moving on to Group D, the first of the British teams is Chelsea, of course. I think it'll be Chelsea in first, LAFC in second, Flamengo, and then Esperance Sportive de Tunis. Again, I think I just look at Chelsea and I think they're very much a tournament team, aren't they? They do well in tournament situations, and I think that the quality of opposition in this group is nowhere near to them. And I think, obviously, they won the Conference League playing a reserve team, and obviously I don't think any of these teams are really better than, the Real Betis of the world that obviously they beat on the way to winning the Conference League. So I'm going to go for Chelsea in first, LAFC to get through in second, Flamengo and Esperance Sportive de Tunis. Group E then sees Inter Milan top, in my opinion. Obviously, the reigning Champions League runners-up. I've gone for River Plate in second. Again, they've got some good players. Acuna at left-back as well as a main one, Armani in between the sticks. I've gone for Monterrey in third and Aurora Red Diamonds in fourth. Monterrey are a decent side. They're a decent side in Mexico, but I think Inter Milan, River Plate get through in Group E. Group F then, Borussia Dortmund, or I've gone for Dortmund, Fluminense, Ulsan, Hyundai and Mamelodi Sundowns. Now obviously Dortmund have just signed Joe Bellingham. They've also got some good players in their team. I think Fluminense have played well in the Brazilian league, and they're a reputable team in Brazil and obviously in South America in general. I've gone for Ulsan, Hyundai and Mamelodi Sundowns to finish third and fourth in Group F. And the penultimate group is Manchester City, Juventus, Al Ain and Wydad AC. Casablanca is my predictions. I think Man City, again, I think they're going to take this really seriously. I think they want to win this. They've won the Champions League, they've won the Super Cup, they've won the Club World Cup previously, and I think they want to win, obviously, the new extended format of the Club World Cup. I think Juventus, despite a poor season by Juventus' standards, I think they're better than Al Ain and Wydad Casablanca, so I think that's how Group G looks. And then Group H is an interesting one. Real Madrid have obviously signed Dean Huijsen. They've got Trent for this, Trent Alexander-Arnold for this tournament. Al Hilal in second. I've gone for and Salzburg and Pachua. I do think though Al Hilal could win the group. I think the game between Al Hilal and Real Madrid will be deciding of who wins the group. I think Al Hilal beat both Salzburg and Pachua, and I think Real Madrid do the same. If Al Hilal can somehow beat Real Madrid, that would be ridiculous, and I think obviously then they would win the group, providing obviously they beat the others in their group. But I've gone for Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Salzburg and Pachua. Let's have a look at the knockout stages. So the first knockout game I've gone for, we'll see Porto take on Atletico Madrid, and I've gone for Atletico to win this one. I think they've got more quality in their team. Obviously, Julian Alvarez, Llorente, the goalkeeper Oblak as well. I think it's a better team. Obviously, Sorloth has banged goals in for them this season. I'm going to go for them to beat Porto into the quarterfinals, and I think Bayern Munich will comfortably beat LAFC. I know, this is a tournament that I want to see shocks. I want to see LAFC beat Bayern. I want to see Porto beat Atletico. I want to see Real Madrid get grouped. These things would be absolutely unbelievable. I don't think it happens. I think Bayern Munich beat LAFC comfortably. Next game then is Inter Milan against Fluminense. Again, same thing. I would love to see Fluminense get through. I think it's going to be nice to see different type of cultures play. Obviously, we're so used to watching European football, but seeing like the Mexicans, the Brazilians, the African teams, it's going to be so refreshing to see. But I think Inter Milan have way too much over Fluminense. And then the next game, Man City against Al Hilal. Shock. I've gone for Al Hilal to beat Manchester City in the last 16. I think Al Hilal are going to take this really seriously as well as Man City. And I think obviously Al Hilal have got some quality players in their team, haven't they? I think they're going to beat Manchester City in this one. I know it's a big shock, and I know obviously it would be massive for Al Hilal to win. I've got them to beat Man City. The next game, PSG against Inter Miami. Lionel Messi against his former team. Again, I don't think there's any way Inter Miami beat PSG. Obviously, it'd be good for Inter Miami to get to the last 16, but PSG have got Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Desire Doué, obviously Vitinha, Neves, Fabian. The back line is ridiculous. I think they have way too much for Inter Miami. And then I think Chelsea get past Benfica. I don't really see the qualities that Benfica possess. They've had a really poor season, and I think Chelsea, off the back of that Conference League win, will be sort of all tails up and looking forward to this tournament. I think they beat Benfica. So the final two last 16 ties then sees Dortmund take on River Plate. Now again, I think River Plate could get something from this, but the quality Dortmund have over River Plate, they should edge it. Bellingham, Adeyemi, Sabitzer in midfield, the backline Schlotterbeck, obviously Kobel in goals. I think they beat River Plate, and then I think Real Madrid comfortably beat Juventus. I know Juventus are decent, but Real Madrid in tournament mode, obviously it'll be Xabi Alonso's first tournament in charge of Real Madrid. I think they comfortably beat Juventus. So quarterfinal one then, I think Atletico beat Bayern Munich. I've not been impressed with Bayern this season. Obviously they lost in the Champions League, didn't they? Again, I've just not been impressed with them. Julian Alvarez, Sorloth, the players that Atletico have, I think they beat Bayern. And then I think Inter Milan, the Champions League runners-up, beat Al Hilal. Obviously, good run for Al Hilal to get to the quarterfinals, but I think that their quarterfinal match will be their final one at the Club World Cup. And then the final two quarterfinals sees PSG take on Chelsea. This was tough, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, PSG storm it," but Chelsea have got a knack of finding a way in tournaments and finding a way. Obviously, they won the Champions League, didn't they, under Thomas Tuchel, beating Real Madrid, Man City along the way. But I think PSG, the current Champions League winners, get the job done. And then the final quarterfinal sees Dortmund take on Real Madrid, and I think Real Madrid definitely win it. It's a tough game, but Real Madrid win. Can't really see the badges or who you think is going to win this one, but Atletico against Inter Milan. I've gone for Inter Milan. Again, they've recently got to the Champions League final. They know their way to navigate through from a semi-final into a final. I think Inter Milan beat Atletico Madrid in semi-final 1. And in semi-final 2, I think Real Madrid beat PSG. Again, the Trent element, Xabi Alonso, I think they win. Obviously, Mbappe as well in the team. I think Real Madrid get past PSG. And then I think Real Madrid beat Inter Milan in the Club World Cup final. Would be a ridiculous story. Xabi Alonso in phase 1, Trent, Huijsen, but those are my predictions for the 2025 Club World Cup. Let me know yours down below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow.